got a chance to check out the new Netflix show, The Waterfront. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I'm your host, Frank Zenka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we're going to talk about the new Netflix show, The Waterfront. I got a chance to watch all 8 episodes. I really liked the cast, which is what drew me to it. However, the writer-producer on it, I guess is basically the showrunner, was the writer of the original Scream. Scream 1, Scream 2. I believe that he even did, I know he did last summer. And then he did Vampire Diaries. He did The Following. So this guy's very, very, very prolific. So he also did, Scream 5 and 6. Of course, he was also the one that fired Melissa Barrera, causing that not to even have a third episode over political matters. And of course, Jenna Ortega followed up and said, hey, if you're going to fire her, there's no reason for me to come back. And she quit. So that's why you didn't see another Scream, the trilogy after that, with 6 and possibly 7. I would have liked to have seen that. I kind of like the new ones. But anyway, going back to Kevin Williamson, he's obviously very prolific. He's, got a lot of good stuff under his belt. However, when I first started watching this, I was like, I don't like anybody. I don't like any of these characters. And even on Rotten Tomatoes, it barely has a fresh on it. Barely. Especially when you're putting up this kind of family mob type of thing, and you're comparing this to Mobland, which is way better, and even The Penguin, which is way better than that. If you're going to watch anything out of the 3, The Penguin would be the one to watch. But a lot of these, Mobland, this reminds me more of Sons of Anarchy on a lower level, where you have a family that's involved in, doing work that is not entirely legal. So we find out that, they're in financial trouble. They basically own a good portion of the town that they're in, which is like some kind of a seaport. And they have their own boats and all this other stuff. They have docks, all the other stuff. So they have a lot of things that make money. However, for some reason, they're just not making money anymore. I found it very, very strange that they own all this stuff and they're not making any money. It just didn't make any sense. They have full employees. They have all this stuff. And the only way they can make money is by doing illegal things, by transporting drugs, basically. But the other part of the story is that they have this piece of land that his family owns. He was passed down to it. When I say his family, it was passed down to Harlan. Harlan is the matriarch or the patriarch of the family, and the matriarch is Maria Bello, her character. I think she did a good job of playing the matriarch as well. Her name is Belle, and so she's going behind his back to sell this land to get them out of debt. Again, I don't understand how this happened, because they have all of these things. How suddenly their costs went up, astronomically. I don't understand that. Where it wasn't a gradual thing where they were able to, head it off and raise prices. It's just, again, it didn't make any sense. But moving on from that, again, I really liked I met Maria Bello at a TV Guide party where they were doing a anniversary for NCIS. I got to meet Mark Harmon. My mom was a really big NCIS fan and a big fan of Mark Harmon, so he signed it to my mom. It was pretty cool. And I took a picture with Maria Bello as well. Really nice people overall. But anyway, so I really like the cast, and it was definitely a different role for Melissa Benoist as well. I hadn't seen her in forever, since Supergirl. So it was good to see her do something as well. It's definitely a different role for her because here she was a drug addict. So here's our different characters. So you have Harlan, who's basically a bully, and he is the patriarch of the family. Then you have Maria Bello's character, who is going behind everybody's back to make this deal. And the first time you meet Harlan, too, he's having a heart attack or whatever else. And he's having an affair on his wife. So you don't like him right off the bat. The wife is going behind his back to sell this piece of land. So you don't really like her. Uh, the son comes off as a pussy know-it-all. So his name was Kane. And then you find out, too, that he's in love with someone else, too, from his childhood that comes back into town. And he's married with a child. So you don't really like him. And then you have Bree, which is Melissa Benoist's character. And you really don't like her because she's a drug addict. She's estranged from her... She's divorced because of that. And she's estranged from her son because while she was coked out or whatever else, she had a cigarette or whatever else and about burned the house down with him in it. So there's a restraining order for the son against the mother. And he is now working at the restaurant because he wants to be near the family, but he has to be, distanced from his mom. So basically, you don't like anyone. You don't like anyone. And it was also good to see Danielle Campbell. She has a smaller role here, but she was my favorite character in the originals. She played Davina in the original. She was great in that, and she's really good in this too. She has that, that gravitas about her, even though she's like 5'1", she's like a take control kind of person, and I really like that. And then you have Topher Grace pop in here as the villain. Anyway, before going to Topher Grace too much, because I want to discuss his character, I want to talk about the fact that I am a writer myself. And you can check out all of my books on Amazon. Just type my name into Amazon, or you can just go to the link in the description below. You can check out my 4-novel sci-fi quadrilogy, Destiny Aurora, that was made into a board game and RPG. It's also as a graphic novel, and it's on Audible right now as well. The first novel's on Audible, and it's also on Kindle. All my books are on Kindle, including my YA fantasy novel, Tales of Ravenor, the Iron Witch. If you love dragons and things like that, you'll love that one. And my new comic, Fairy Tales of Terror, is going to be launching on Kickstarter. I kind of wanted to work on it today, but the movie that I'm about to work on, I'm working on a Tubi movie. We're in pre-production right now and moving into production on Monday. Ate up my entire day. I didn't get to work on the Kickstarter at all, but I'm hoping to launch by next week or so. At very least, when the movie ends, I'll be ready. I just got the video in like a few days ago. But definitely check out that. It's Killer Cinderella, a Captain Hook that uses his hook to massacre people as well. They're running around New York City after they came out of a book, and Tiger Lily from Neverland's tracking them down. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. Click the QR code here or his link in the description below. All right, so let's jump back into Topher Grace as the villain, because I just saw him. Of course, he played Venom in the very weak the Spider-Man movie, and of course he was from that '70s show, and I just saw him playing a semi-villain. I don't know if he was quite a villain in the Flight Risk, which it wasn't a good movie, and it wasn't a bad movie. It was a very mid movie, but I enjoyed it for what it was. And now he's in this playing a total villain where he is the drug dealer that's kind of in everybody's way, trying to take control and just making one bad move after another after another. And I'm not going to go into any spoilers here, but there's a couple of good action scenes in here. But the problem is that you basically have to stick with the characters, with the show, to get any kind of appreciation for the characters. So if you don't like them off the bat, the chances of you sticking with the show is slim. Then there's a bartender character that is entered as well, and I like what they did with him, but they made him gay for no reason whatsoever. It felt like it was very thrown in there, and for political reasons, it didn't feel organic. It's like, oh, we have to have a gay character in here, so that's exactly how it feels. Unfortunately, there was no problem with it. I had no problem with the character being gay. It's just, it just didn't feel organic. When you watch it, you're like, because there was no reason to even go into that portion of the character. It had nothing to do with the show itself. It felt very inserted. So we have all of these characters, trying to do the right thing and are doing the wrong thing at the same time. But then you find out why Bree is what she is, and I really appreciate that. And Holt's character Harlan, I grew to appreciate the characters. I grew to like them as time went on. But if you can't get past half a season of these guys just being, derelict in every duty and anything they can possibly do wrong that they do, and, they end up sticking together by the end. But you just feel the family just falling apart as time goes on. Even the scene, again, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but the scene with the hunting scene, even there I was like, ooh. So it did get me occasionally. And then, like I said, you have Kane that's going after his old high school sweetheart, Jenna, and how is his wife dealing with that. And then you have this kind of an open relationship that Harlan has with Belle, which is Holt's character, and Maria Bello's character, where they're each kind of messing around on each other. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling the family atmosphere. But then again, Mobland, the best character in there, isn't even part of the family. And the family there is tearing itself apart too. So, I don't know. For me, it definitely wasn't one of the strongest things that this guy has done. But it wasn't the weakest either, Kevin Williamson. So I probably would watch a second season of it, but the only thing that would get me excited is all the characters, all the actors. And I think the actors generally do a really good job, and I'm a fan of the characters, which would bring me back again to watch it. But I can tell you that the storyline is kind of all over the place, and the characters aren't likable until way later on in the series. So if you can hang on, you might like it by the end. There are definitely no heroes here, for sure. There's just kind of people doing stuff out of necessity. They're doing it because they have to, not because it's right, basically. But yeah, so tell me if you guys think. So out of 1 through 10, I'll give it a 6 because it is higher than average. It is a higher than average thing. So I kind of agree with the 66%, where it's just a little bit above average. All right, well, give me a like, give me a thumbs up if you can. If you can't subscribe, please do. Ring that bell, ding, ding. Share this video out there. Remember, too, to go to Amazon.com, type my name in or link description below, and definitely check out Fairy Tales of Terror on Kickstarter. We're about to launch, but you can follow it. And if you can go to the QR code here or the link description below as well. And again, tell me what you guys think. Did you really like it? Did you not like it? Do you agree that the character's not likable, or you loved him right off the bat? So let me know what you guys think. All right, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.